Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this chilly November installment of
the Movie Men Podcast.
Yeah, that old nag of ours.
Or in some circles, known as the James Bond, Harry Potter, Star Wars podcast.
Yes. We need to branch out.
It seems that way.
We need to see other people. Potentially.
What?
Yeah. Other movies. Movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, before we go any further, I feel the need to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So, between the last 007 episode that we did and now, the actor Sean Connery, who played James Bond numerous times, I should have counted, but several times, more than anybody else, has passed away.
Yeah.
And it's sad. I mean, you know, we hate on Sean Connery's 007 quite a bit. But, you know, it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you know, all day today, the last couple of days, I've seen a bunch of things on my Facebook saying that people are not mourning Sean Connery because of an interview with Barbara Walters that I've brought up. We've talked about before. I told you about.
Yes.
Where he basically advocated slapping women. And so all of the thing I'm seeing, you know, that interview from, it's like 20 years old or something. And it's being shared around, and you know, and everyone's saying Sean Connery can rot in hell, and you know, Sean Connery, I hope Sean Connery does not rest in peace, and like just all this stuff. And you know what? The movie men do not, like, we're not advocating slapping women.
Not in the least, no.
And we're also not, nor will we ever be here to tell you what or how to think.
No.
We're here to tell you what we think about things, and hopefully that's entertaining to you. But that's kind of where it ends. Like, you know, we avoid being super political on this show. We avoid, you know, getting too opinion based about any sort of world events. Having said that, all I will say is that I speak, I think, for both of us when I say we were both saddened to hear of the passing of Sean Connery.
Of course.
Our condolences go out to both his friends and family. You know, a loss is a loss, and that's truly awful. And despite, you know, despite what could be considered some less than flavorable viewpoints on certain subjects, he was an amazing talent. He was an incredible actor.
Sure.
And, you know, in many ways is the reason why we've now done, what is it, 23 of these freaking things? 21? 20?
This is number 21, yeah.
21. So, we're sorry to hear about the passing of Sean Connery. I don't know if I'll do the voice anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Weird.
It unfortunately, it's unfortunate, obviously, that he passed away, but it's unfortunate because you do a lot of good voices, and I'm going to say that right now. And one of them was the Sean Connery one, but yeah, it just doesn't seem, at least not right now, and maybe it'll change, but it doesn't seem appropriate right now, anyway.
No. Yeah. So, anyways, that's that.
Of note, so I will say, yeah, I agree with everything you said. Our show, we stay away from the serious political things just because we want to be an escape from those things for the audience. And I agree we won't comment on Sean Connery per se, but as an actor, he definitely was important in the Hollywood on the Hollywood scene. Of note, this actually surprised me. I just looked this up as you were talking. So Sean Connery, by definition, was in 6 Eon James Bond films, and one
shit! Roger Moore beat him.
Roger Moore was in 7 Eon films. Now, if you include the non-Eon, then Sean Connery obviously has 7 because he came back.
Which we have been. So technically, he's tied with Roger Moore. But okay,
it's interesting. It surprises me because at first I was like, yeah, he was in the most, and then I was like, but it feels like Roger Moore was here for 20 years, and
yeah,
he must have. Yeah. So just of note, It was interesting.
Cool. All right. Well, I will not edit that out.
Please don't. Bond number 21.
Yeah, this is the movie, man. If you haven't listened to any of our 007 episodes up until this point, this doesn't seem like a great starting point, but you do you.
You do you.
Essentially, what we are doing is we're going through all the 007 films. I had never seen any of them, and you wanted to review No Time to Die. And me being the completist, I was like, well, I've never seen any 007 films. Let's watch them all.
I was wanting to review I was wanting to review obviously No Time to Die. I wanted to just review all the Daniel Craig ones. And then I was like, maybe I'd be open to the Pierce Brosnan as well, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I said, no, let's do them all. And you said, okay, listen, I'll do a couple, then you can do the rest, and then I'll sort of tune
fill
back
in the blanks
when I'm interested.
Yep.
So we did that, and you buggered off for one episode and came hurtling back when that one episode, I don't even know what film that was for, but
I forget. And I didn't, I mailed it in, I was in it. We didn't record it together. So it was kind of a weird
and
one.
it just seems stupid at that point. It was like,
I
don't know.
It didn't have the vibe.
No. So we rate the films on a scale of 0 to 10 in 8 different categories. Then we take all those categories, or all those scores rather, and we average them up, and we take that score and plug it into a spreadsheet with all the other scores from all the other 007 films. And essentially what we're trying to do is find the quintessential 007 film. Doesn't need to be our favorite. Many times films have scored a little higher on the scale than we necessarily would have liked them to, because maybe it wasn't our favorite, but when you look at all the elements, it was a damn good 007 film.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. And we're on we're on to The World Is Not Enough. It's been a journey,
to say the least.
It has it's taken us a while to get here, but we're here. And so let's roll with this.
Let's do it.
All right. So our first category is plot. I gave this a 6.
Oh wow!
Which is down a little bit from the last couple that I've given them. I didn't find it. It wasn't confusing. It wasn't the days of needing to understand Soviet espionage. Those days are gone. So I mean, it wasn't a confusing plot. I didn't, for the most part, the premise wasn't that interesting. The execution was pretty good. I found myself engaged and watching. And there's one really good plot twist that I will talk about in a later category here.
Sure.
Or plot point, not necessarily a twist, a plot point. And so, I wasn't bored. I just wasn't overall fascinated with the premise. I was like, we had coming off of GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies, which I thought both had really strong premises. This one just felt a little more generic 007. It felt a little more cookie cutter. Felt a little more, much of the same, just arranged a little differently. So I gave this a 6. I wasn't wowed, but still slightly above average based on the other 007 films that we've done.
Fair enough. So this film surprised me because was almost certain I had seen it. I was almost certain I had seen it multiple times. And I remembered the opening sequence in the Bond song, and then literally from when the Bond song ended, like from then to the end credits, I was in complete mystery, not knowing what was happening. And I realized I had watched like the first 10 minutes several times, and for some reason I had never continued. And I just, for some reason, thought I had seen it. So, the plot,
that's me with Thor: The Dark World. I can tell you the beginning half hour of Thor: The Dark World over and over and over. And then I can also tell you where exactly I was when I fell asleep at the 30-minute mark all 20 times. I haven't seen it all. It's the one MCU film I haven't seen all the way through. Not for lack of trying either.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to say to that other than just don't bother.
No.
But yeah, with this plot, so it was the first time I'd seen it technically. I gave it a 3 out of 10. I just wasn't really biting what it was laying down. Like you said, this is a note I made, and we are past the days of the complex plots, so it was simple enough to follow. But at times maybe it was just a bit more difficult to watch because I wasn't as interested in it, and just who was doing what and what motivations everyone had. So there was just times where Bond was in a plutonium mine and masquerading as a Russian, and I was just kind of confused who he was masquerading as and what was going on. And in the climax, there was a submarine where there's a sequence going on and a bomb's about to go off, and I think I just lost some interest, and it just kind of stretched out, and I was like, okay, Pierce, let's wrap this thing up. So, it had some twists, some turns, some interesting plot points, but obviously, ultimately, I just didn't overly enjoy it, and for that I gave it a 3 out of 10. One interesting.
I love how you say, "Okay, Pierce, wrap things up," as if the actor himself plays any bearing on where this is going, how long it's taking.
Obviously, he does. When you're Pierce Brosnan. One interesting thing of note, and I wrote it down because it made me think of something else, but it actually has more relevance now. I made a note of the interest that the film starts with James Bond in Scotland for a funeral, and that brought me back to the 1967 Casino Royale, which that occurs. But obviously is some relevance to that because obviously since our last episode with Sean Connery passing away, of course being Bond, of course being from Scotland, there's some significance to that. But the plot itself, I gave a 3.
Cool. So that moves us on to Portrayal of Bond. This is going to be short and sweet. I'm scoring it the same way that I have scored the other two Pierce Brosnan performances. I gave it an 8. I mean, he's sly, he's sexy, he's got great hair. He seems. This time around, I was watching it. I was really trying to figure out what is it about him that I like so much better. And honestly, I think Pierce Brosnan, what I've landed on, excuse me, good Lord.
Bless you.
It was like a water burp or something. It was so gross. I think what I landed on ultimately is Pierce Brosnan, and this may be somewhat his acting. It may also be the way the character is being written. I just feel like he brings an extra layer of depth. Like, I feel like James Bond feels less like a prop. He feels less like a plot piece, and more like a 3-dimensional character when Pierce is playing him.
That's fair.
There's a little more emotion in his face. There's a little more, I just buy it. I buy that this guy's got a past. I buy, that. I just buy it. I buy that he's not so hard up on arthritis medication that he can't do what needs to be done. But no, yeah. So I gave it an 8. I mean,
Cool.
There hasn't been a Pierce Brosnan moment where I've thought to myself, come on.
No.
So
No.
yeah.
I gave it a pretty similar grade. I gave it a 7 out of 10. And obviously that score is based on just our enjoyment of Pierce as James Bond. And obviously I'm going to go through a couple critiques, so it may sound hypocritical, like, hey, I gave him a 7, but here's some things I'm ripping on him. It's more just the James Bond aspect. So we realized James Bond is kind of a sleazebag in general, but specifically the portrayal of him was a fun, enjoying aspect. So we gave it a 7. I gave it a 7 out of 10. But some things of note, just absolute bullcrap when he is being assessed by a health professional at MI6, and he needs a clean bill of health to be put back on the case. And bribe, I don't know if that's the right word, to get the clean bill of health, he has intercourse with the female health professional. And I looked at my wife when we were watching this, and we both just thought it was such a new low for ridiculousness, inappropriateness, and also discomfort. But
yeah,
so there was that. No, what do you mean? I mean, what? Where are you going to go with this? I mean, it's not good.
No, but it's also clearly not the first time, like, it's not the first time they've slept together either. Right? So,
Yeah,
I mean, there's that, right? Like, I'm watching it, and
Sure.
At first I'm thinking, like, oh, good Lord, man. Like, my God. It wouldn't matter if she was giving you a physical or scooping you ice cream in an ice cream truck. You'd climb over the thing and
Right.
undo your belt. But no, and then it was like, well, are you actually going to call me this time? And I'm like, okay, so there's some pre-existing sexual tension here. We've seen each other naked. We've done the dirty. And so there's that tension. So, I mean, does it make it appropriate? No. Does it make it,
Sure.
sensical? No. But for me, it redeemed the act a little bit as far as believability.
Sure. Like I guess it's believable in that aspect, but it was still ridiculous, as you're saying, and you're agreeing with. I didn't like, it would have been interesting, and I was curious where they were going to go. They did, I forget who it was, but someone asked him, have you ever lost a loved one? And I thought, is this interesting? Is he going to reference?
Talk about his wife.
Is he going to talk about his wife? And he didn't, and that didn't really come to play, so it was all kind of much ado about nothing.
Did it feel like a missed opportunity?
A little.
Yeah.
And it would have been ironic, too, because, right, it was in Her Majesty's Secret Service where his wife is killed, where at the beginning they talk about the family motto of, I forget what it is in Latin, but it's the world is not enough. So it would have been kind of full circle. The one last thing, I thought it was ridiculous. There was a sequence where James Bond was going in an oil pipeline, pursuing something, and, it just seemed ridiculous. He was wearing like a 3-piece suit in this oil pipeline. And something we'll see later in the series where, yes, Bond is always dapper wearing a suit when it's appropriate. But sometimes with these Bonds up to now, like he'll be wearing a 3-piece suit in situations that just don't call for it. And it'll be like I guess it just bothered me where like you should just be wearing some khakis and like a rain jacket, not like a tuxedo with a cummerbund and like cufflinks when there's like oil spillage spewing everywhere, but not a major plot point.
Something I have noticed, and I think I noticed this in GoldenEye and maybe forgot to mention it. There's a moment where like it just caught me off guard, and I was like, man, have we not seen this before? There's a time in GoldenEye towards the end where Bond's got like soot on his face and blood, and he's like, and his hair is disheveled, and like he's been through action, and he's looking much worse for wear.
Sure.
And that was jarring to me. I was like, oh wow, like, he actually looks like he's got, and I was like, why is that jarring to me? And I don't think they used to do that. I think in the old days, Bond would have come out the other end of that oil pipe looking like he just picked the thing up from the dry cleaners.
Sure.
Whereas now it's a little more like, okay, no, like you get punched in the face, it's going to split your lip. It's going to, so anyways, that's something, I think that's also been boosting my Pierce Brosnan score.
Sure. Gaining some realism.
Yeah. Okay. Villain. This is a step down again for me.
Sure.
So this is a 7. That's still
oh wow,
crazy admirable.
Yeah.
But it's a step down. I really only have 2 comments.
Sure.
Comment number 1 is a pro and the other one's a con. And ultimately probably prevented it from being higher. So the pro is, I mean, yeah, this is a Bond villain who's got a gimmick. There's a bullet lodged in his head and he can't feel anything. And so that's cool.
I guess.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like there's that, not believability, but there's that thing that makes him not just a drug lord, not just he's a guy that has a bullet lodged in his brain and therefore he can't feel anything and it's going to kill him. But he's going to get more and more and more powerful until it does. And so I found that really cool. The con for me, and I kind of alluded to this last time.
Sure.
There's absolutely no reason for this guy not to be a member of Spectre.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
And I was like, come on. Like, bring Spectre back. I want Spectre back so bad. And this seemed there's no reason for this guy not to just be, I absolutely want Spectre back.
Wow.
And there's no reason for this guy not to be like number 13 or something.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. I gave it a 7. It's still super good. It's definitely down from the last 2, though.
That's super interesting because it's interesting just... that's never anything I really thought of as far as like, wouldn't it be interesting if these guys are part of Spectre? And maybe it's just that I don't miss Spectre, and that's probably obviously it. But it's interesting that you kind of keep thinking that with these villains, and that never crossed my mind. But that's an interesting component that is missing so far from these Pierce Brosnan ones. I was pretty lean with my villain ranking. I gave it a 2 out of 10. Did not enjoy it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know films are supposed to be fun and fantastical, and they don't have to follow realism if it's James Bond, for heaven's sakes. But just the whole concept of having a bullet wedged in his medulla oblongata, and as a result, like you said, he's growing daily to invincible strengths and powers, but it'll also kill his ass. And my wife and I just looked at this and we were like, shut the front door. Like, this is baloney. I find this hard to believe. And even just looking past the aspect of it's bullcrap and it's not real, let's just say it is real. Let's just say it's physically possible. Let's make it happen. Just the concept that they have alluded to and they've created in this world, he's somehow becoming invincible. That, yeah, he can be immune to pain, but if you hold boiling rocks, your skin and tissue will still burn and decay. Like, you are not invincible to just normal wear and tear. You might not feel it. You might be stronger.
Yeah. And but I'm like, okay, so... But there was the moment where he does that, right? Where he grabs like, the scalding hot. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe that doesn't hurt.
But it will burn you.
The infection is going to kill you.
Yes.
Like
the third degree burns and like exposing your muscle and bone to the world will eventually catch up and kill your ass sooner. So just... Yeah, and I didn't find him that menacing, to be honest. Like, obviously it was cool if you look past, hey, he's got this thing. But ultimately, I like the past villains we've had, like with the Medium Al Ghul and whatnot. I just didn't find this that interesting. At least where they took it. Yeah.
Okay. Which brings us on to gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 7 for me as well.
Cool.
It's good. I mean, it's not the most. I don't think it's the most gadgets we've seen.
No.
But it is strong use of gadgets for the most part.
Sure.
Love Q's scene, which is interesting, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. With the supporting characters, but yeah, just loved the overall. I like how seamlessly the gadgets are used as part of the action.
Yes. Yep.
Whereas in past ones, it's like, I need to pick a lock. Let me get this Kleenex box-sized device out of my pocket.
Sure.
I don't know how it fit in my pocket, and I'll pick a lock with it, and but. Mm-hmm. But yeah, gadgets are used sort of seamlessly in the action scenes, and it's fun for me. And you know what? So much of these films for me, as I've alluded to previously, are about the use of the gadgets. And the presence of the gadgets. He's 007. He's not just another action star. This isn't a Taken movie. This isn't a Jason Bourne. This isn't whatever. This is James Bond. British intelligence, leading technology. I want gadgets, and this film delivered. 7.
Oh yeah, for sure. I also gave it a 7. I'm going to do the roll call of gadgets here. A bit of overlap with what you said, but I loved seeing the glasses that had a remote explosive in them. That arguably, I think they're cool. I didn't understand. He was in a room, and I don't know how Bond actually wasn't killed or hurt by the explosives, but everyone that he was with somehow was. But I'll look past that. There was helicopter controlled. Go ahead.
Was your reaction when the film started the same as mine?
Which
you
one?
Just see the shot of him, and I'm like, why the shit is he wearing these glasses? He looks so stupid.
Yeah.
But then it all made sense, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's totally good. But yeah,
it does.
What?
It does kind of stand out. We had the helicopter controlled tree trimmer. BMW returns again with their sponsorship. This time it's a remote controlled driving capability again. Has rockets with target capabilities. Q's not going to like this. Unfortunately, it got sawed in half. The one kind of morally or ethically, or I don't even know what the right word is, but he shouldn't have been using these. But he had those blue tinged glasses where it allowed him to see concealed weapons and also female undergarments. I didn't know.
But not through the undergarments.
I didn't.
How does that work?
I don't know, but anyway, there was that cool Visa card gadget to break into a security room, and there was a grappling hook from a Rolex watch, which I feel that is a classic. At least from a video game perspective, that's a classic Bond gadget. So I gave it a strong 7 out of 10.
Cool. That brings us to fights in action. I gave this also a 7.
Cool.
I think. Hang on. No, sorry. Fights in Action's got a 6.
Okay.
It just, it was good. It felt like a little bit of a step down in terms of things like just compared to its predecessor, right? Where we had the car chase in the parking garage and stuff like that. I didn't quite feel there weren't as many big action moments in this one. Again, still above average. We're like you've said before, we're in that modern era when it comes to the feeling of the action. And that's super refreshing after having seen so many clanky choreographed fights.
I think the height of the clanky choreographed fight sequences was there was like a car that went off a cliff at one point and it blew up before it hit the ground. So it didn't even qualify for the cliche like a car crashes and blows up. Like it blew up, then crashed, and it was just you put your hands up and you go, what are we doing here? Like, what is this?
Gone are the days where every gunshot sounds like a BB ricocheting off a tin can.
Right, yes.
For whatever reason, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, so I gave it a 6.
Sure. I was pretty close. I gave Fights in Action a 7. Again, I mirror everything you said. We're just in that modern era of fun, entertaining action. The only two things I'll mention, I loved Bond cruising down that River Thames. It's fun anytime in Harry Potter or this just jumped to mind. We get to see like a fun action sequence in Britain. I loved that Bond just swiped Q's unfinished prototype boat and was like, see ya, gotta go. And it was all to the 007 soundtrack, so it had a fun pace. The setting of London, all just kind of combining. I loved that sequence just from a enjoyment perspective. And the one thing I want to say is I actually got some flashbacks to the Roger Moore days just with the amount of skiing that occurred in this film.
What is with like, and there was a George Lazenby skis, and I think Sean Connery skis at one point too. Like it's
Maybe.
like every so often they're like, we're gonna have to put another skiing scene in this. Like Bond can ski. Holy shit.
Yep.
Seems super unnecessary, but
Yeah, it does seem a little...
Bond girl. Bond girl. I gave this a 6.
Okay.
No Honey Rider. No Good Night.
No.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm not a big fan of the total damsel in distress, but at the same time, you need this healthy blend between needing to be saved, but also not being helpless, and useless. And I felt like something about that ratio was off. And just disinteresting. Just not a I just didn't care. I would okay, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Bond girl category has been a category that's very hard to please me, and so 6 is not a bad score.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I'll take your I don't know to the next level. I gave it a 3 out of 10. Just really was kind of meh. I broke it into the two parts. So I broke it into Elektra and Christmas Jones. With Elektra, yeah, some Stockholm Syndrome, you know, an inside woman. So I guess there's some depth, but it just for what they did with it, it was a below a 5 for me. Of note, I thought there was just a weird sequence where they were hanging out in bed, I guess you'd say, and she was chewing on ice from like a champagne holder, and like Bond was like, that's enough ice for one day. And I was like, dude, like, why are you like, I just found it a weird thing to say. Like, let someone eat something if they want to eat something, but of all the things to be like, you should watch yourself, like ice chips, like I didn't get it. But the other girl, Christmas Jones,
they're typically fairly low calorie.
Typically, yeah. Right? The other girl, Christmas Jones, I didn't find there was much there for me personally. Of note, yeah, it was good to see an independent woman, independent professional woman, who truly did assist in the end with the bomb in the submarine. So, like, to her credit and to the film's credit, we have come a long way from this is specifically Man with the Golden Gun looking at you. We've come a long way from just the Bond girl leaning on a button while wearing a bikini that like moves the plot forward. She was independent. She was able to think for herself, so that's fair. But again, with both these Bond girls, I think there was potential, but they just kind of fizzled out. So I gave it a 3.
Cool. Supporting characters. This got what is going on with my freaking thing here, man? Supporting characters got an 8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What a freaking wonderful, I don't know. The two things that stand out to me. And one I'm a little in the dark about. One I'm a little nervous about. I think we saw Q say goodbye. And I don't know for certain.
Okay.
We see John Cleese show up. I didn't realize there was an overlap.
I didn't either.
And so we see John Cleese show up as sort of the guy that's being trained to take over. And then Q's got a line where he says to Bond, and then he kind of like recedes down on this conveyor belt. And I just had this moment where I was like, was that him saying goodbye? Is that it? Is that the end?
Yeah.
And I think it is. It must be. It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only one film left for him to not be in. So this had to have been the last. In which case, so I'm so curious then, like, when did he die in relation to this coming out? And did they know? Like, was he dying? The actual actor?
Do you want me to tell you? Because I actually did look it up.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure. So I was just as curious as you are, and I believe from what I was reading, I think he actually passed away, at least from my understanding, unexpectedly in a car accident.
Oh, weird.
And I think it was around the release of the film or sometime shortly after the release of the film. So yeah, it wasn't that he was sick and they, or wanting to retire or, something happened. Like, I think it was accidental, which makes it kind of interesting, right? Because it almost like it was like he was kind of wanting to leave, and it kind of was a
car accident is a weird way to go at that age.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The reason why this scored so high for me,
M
becomes a damsel in distress. M becomes kidnapped. And to me, I just loved that involvement I was like, yes, like finally M gets a moment to shine. M's is certainly a more prominent character in the Pierce Brosnan ones. But yeah, I don't know. I was all over this, the fact that M got baited and M-napped. So yeah, I gave it an 8. I was super happy with everyone's involvement.
Yeah, I did just look it up to confirm. Yeah, he was in a car accident in 1999.
Weird.
Yeah. So obviously quite sad for many reasons. Just sad to see the character go on the show, but obviously sad that the actual actor passed away unexpectedly. So yeah, I also gave it a 7 out of 10. I loved a lot of aspects of this. I loved the beginning where Bond and M are having scotch and having a bit of a debrief at MI6. I found that enjoyable. Obviously loved everything about the Q sequence. Just on its own, I loved it. But obviously knowing what we know that this was the last one was great. And it was really, really, Bond kind of resembles the audience where he's hoping Q isn't retiring, and Q leaves us off with those two kind of little funny rules of, one, never let them see you bleed, and two, always have an escape plan, and he just goes off.
Yeah. And I thought that was it, man. I thought that was the moment.
Yeah. Again, like you said, introducing John Cleese, his R. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but something had to be done. Well, I guess it's weird that they planned an overlap not knowing that he was passing away or leaving the show, but
yeah.
I loved Moneypenny dropping some daggers to the doctor that James Bond was having intercourse with to get the clear pill of health. Moneypenny makes some comment about stamina on the bill of health being like resounding or excellent or something, and Moneypenny was on cue.
Whoa!
And then
so
Valentine
sentence.
Which one?
Moneypenny was on cue.
Not what I meant.
You gotta remember letters mean something here.
Yeah. Valentine returns from GoldenEye, which I was like, I didn't really care that too much, but 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
All right. Bond song. I gave this an 8. I don't know. I don't know why.
Wow.
I don't know what about it, but The World Is Not Enough by Garbage is anything but.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just hit every note that it needed to hit. Pardon the pun. For a Bond song, I was like, yeah, this is classy and espionage-y and sexy, and it's got the right pace, and I don't know, man. I ate it up. It's much different than Live and Let Die for sure. But I thought it was equally good in its own way.
What did you give Live and Let Die out of 10?
I think an 8.
Okay.
I think an 8.
Yep. Fair enough. Wow, that's a good score for this. Yeah. I was pretty close. I gave it a 7 out of 10. At first, I was lingering with a 5 or a 6, and then it just kind of grew on me, and I re-watched the song when I was done the film, and I ultimately found I was really okay with this sequence. It's not the best by far, but it was a decent Bond song montage to open the film. I love just the sequence of Bond hanging onto a rope and him sliding off the roof, and then it transitions into the song. Had that Bond tone and vibe right from the go, and yeah, just had that Bond feel. And of note, I do remember this song being popular at the time, and it being like the music video on MTV. So maybe that played a little bit into why I gave it a good score, maybe bumped it up from maybe a 5 or a 6. But yeah, ultimately it was good. The dripping silhouettes of people in the sequence was a little creepy, but other than that, I thought it was great. So I gave it a 7 out of 10, and it was solid. Yeah.
Cool.
I have some one-liners.
Do it.
Okay, the first one. In the bank sequence. The one of the many that have made my wife throw up in her mouth. So, female, in quotes here, female banker hands sheet to James Bond. Would you like to check my figures? James Bond, I'm sure they're perfectly rounded. And again, my wife, loud, audible groan.
Oh, come on. That's so good.
I laughed. I did laugh. There were a lot of zingers of note, like Roger Moore level. What's the next one? Should I? Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's his name? The guy who came back from GoldenEye. He's like, we've got no roof, but at least we have 4 good walls. And then, like, literally the whole building just deflated and like collapsed, and I just thought it was funny. Maybe less of a one-liner, but more of a slapstick moment.
That moment was a little on the nose, a little campy.
Yeah. What's this? Haven't you always wanted Christmas in Turkey? Aren't you ready to unwrap your gift? And also, I thought Christmas only came once a year. We're all kind of maybe a little too on the nose, but there were some zingers thrown in at the last minute with the Bond girl named Christmas. They made me feel a little uncomfortable, a little dirty on the inside, but worth noting.
Ultimately, that's the only reason I watch a 007 film, is to feel a little uncomfortable and dirty on the inside. Like a martini.
Haven't you always wanted Christmas in Turkey? Hey. What does your score equal to out of 10? I'm curious.
Okay, so GoldenEye was 7.5.
Yeah, pretty high.
Tomorrow Never Dies was 7.25, so came in just under that.
Yeah.
This gets a 7. So
okay,
a step down again. But still better than all the other 007s.
Sure. Yep. So of note, I gave GoldenEye a 5.5. I gave Tomorrow Never Dies 5.75. I gave The World Is Not Enough a 5.3. So yeah, okay. Definitely came down with this one. But of note, The World Is Not Enough is still around the 6th overall of these 21. So
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, we made reference to this. It is interesting of note. Just from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the family crest, the family motto being "The world is not enough," which, of note, I was hanging out with family, and there was just a couple of us in the room, and we were watching on TV, as you sometimes do. You kind of flick the channel and a movie's finishing, so you just watch the last few minutes. And it was of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I was the only person who had actually seen the film, and they were all watching it, and the sequence where James Bond's wife is shot and killed occurs, and I have to admit, everyone in the room was a little emotional, and I even was like borderline fighting a tear. I forgot how profound that was, and it's just such a contrast to all the James Bondage that we see, and just it was very real, it was very emotional, and I was just, it was interesting that it just brought me back to where that was is him as a character at that time, and I just thought that was interesting that it kind of holds up as we've moved on. I kind of moved back to it, so
I'm dreading what comes next here.
Where this ranks on all the James Bond films on the tomato meter.
I'm so bad at figuring this out.
It can be difficult. It's a tough.
It's super. In theory, it's getting easier.
It is. Let's start off. Where do you think? Is it top 10, middle 10?
I guarantee you, when you ask me to rank Spectre, I'm gonna freaking nail it.
Maybe.
Okay, so I'm gonna say middle 10.
Middle 10. Okay, it's actually bottom 10.
Why do I bottom? Why do I?
And there's no point in giving you the options because the only option left was 22. It's the 22nd ranked Bond film at 53%.
That's bad. But again, it is exactly what you gave it, which happened last week as well.
Actually, that's true. I swear that wasn't on purpose.
I'm on you.
I'm looking, so I'm just taking a quick peek, and obviously anyone can do the math at home, or at least the deduction at home. Like, again, World is Not Enough is not my best ranking score so far, but man, it's better than a lot of the soot and crap that we've gone through, and a lot of that soot and crap is above it on this tomato meter, which, again, makes me scratch my head.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Finish this thing. Finish
right.
it.
Finish it.
Give it the chair.
Thank you for listening, everyone. We do truly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please check out our social media page below, the links to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please like, follow, subscribe if you haven't done so already. You can also check out our Patreon page and our merchandise page if you feel like supporting the show, help paying the bills, and keep the lights on. Please feel free. If you're not at that level of support yet, no problem at all. Even if you're feeling so inclined to give us a like or a comment on the episode page, or even a good rate and review wherever you're listening to this, it does mean a lot to us. We love hearing feedback from you. And again, thank you for listening.